It's going to be a fine night tonight. La 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 la. It's going to be a fine night tonight. La 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 la. It's a fine day. People open windows, they leave their houses just for a short while.
Meet Jobber.
Bla 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 bla. Yo 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 yo. Ya. La 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 la. La 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 la. Diablo que zafaera. Tú tienes un culo cabrón, cualquier cosa que te ponga a romper la carretera. Ay, muévelo, 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 muévelo que zafaera. Tú tienes un culo cabrón, cualquier cosa que te ponga a romper la carretera. Muévelo, 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 muévelo. Qué falta de respeto, mami. ¿Cómo te atreves a venir sin panty? Hoy saliste puesta pa' mí. Yo ni pensaba que venía a dormir. No, vino redilla, puesta con una semilla. Me chupa la lollipop, solita se arrodilla. Hey. ¿Cómo te atreves, mami, a venir sin panty?
Mira, dímelo, DJ Olma, ¿qué tú te crees? Odio cabrón. Yo hago lo que me da la gana. Y se lo conejo.
Ey, ey. Hoy se bebe, hoy se gasta, hoy se fuma como un rata, si Dios lo permite.
Si Dios lo
Ey,
permite.
si Dios lo permite.
Si Dios lo
Ey.
permite.
Hoy se bebe, hoy se gasta, hoy se fuma como un rata, si Dios lo permite. Ey, si Dios lo permite. Ey.
Mira allí, orientando las generaciones nuevas por la verdadera. Bella que voy a lograr la tipsy pa' que se te mojen los panties. Métele bella con los versátil, más puta que Betty Boo. La que se puso bella como mami fuiste tú. Sigo matando con la U. Chota con bicho, bicho con nalga. Chota con bicho, bicho con nalga. Sí, chota con bicho, bicho con nalga. Te está rozando mi tetilla. Este año no quiero putilla. Te ven con mucha prenda y te quieren pegar. Te ven bien activa y te quieren pegar. Porque estás bien buena, porque estás bien buena. Te estás bien grande como Lourdes Chacón. Las nalgas bien grandes como Iris Chacón. La chocha no sé por qué no la he visto. Pero vamos para la cama a clavarte.
Hoy se bebe, hoy se gasta, hoy se fuma como un rata, si Dios lo
All right,
permite.
folks.
Si Dios lo
I
permite.
don't care what time it is.
Hoy se bebe,
Gotta jump on.
hoy se fuma como un rata,
Bitcoin's
si Dios lo
moving too.
permite.
Oof.
Si Dios lo permite.
good day. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's fucking whiff doing Solana. It's a good day, folks. What's the chat saying? We're live. Live on the tube. We're live, we're live, we're live. Gold's flying all-time highs. It's probably on the way to 3,400 from the looks of it. A pullback would be nice. Because if a good enough pullback happens, I'm going to load up. It's broken that 3350 level. Sharp move up. No retracement yet. Starting the week off strong, so it's Sunday. Like it's probably like starting the week off like this. Look at that 4 hour. Crazy because we were buying down here. And I said, like, you might be able to, like, so many things we said. Last session we did was pretty fire. Like, at this point, with the way it's going, it could just keep trending, keep breaking up. You want that pullback. You want some nice pullback to happen tonight. Keep an eye on it. Could just keep forcing up with the way it's moving. You want a good pull. You would like a good pullback, maybe to 3360, 3350 area, and just scale in small. Try to scale in small on it. Don't put a full position at one entry. Try to scale multiple entries, little small entries, to try to swing it up. You'd wanna, if you're trading it, you'd wanna layer in your entries small. You wouldn't want to do a full position maybe at one price with the way it's trending. You'd want to try to layer in, put some maybe small entries as price goes down in a pullback. Layer some entries, try to spread it out in a range. That would be like the smarter thing to do, because like if you're putting a full position at some of these higher prices, you could go in a drawdown. So maybe controlling that drawdown as if, okay, if price pulls, you know, because price could rip to 2,400. So if there's a good enough pullback that you can control a drawdown in, like expect a good enough move back. So you can pullbacks on like the 5 minute, and they're sticking, yeah. So like in a time like this where the market's moving, like once it started moving, I just entered. I flipped what I had in my account left from last week. But I literally just flipped this small ass account. Fuck. I was at my mom's Easter Sunday. If I was here, I would have just made like a lot of money. But I knew I was prepared for it to go up. I'm willing to enter small ass positions and get in that drawdown, control it. But you guys I'm experienced with that, and I have a tolerance for risk, and I just made some money. Literally, look at this. I quickly deposited $100. Oh my gosh. This is funny. $100 to $570. I have 631 in the account. I had 221. I withdrew everything last week. Showed some of you guys that. Had a good week last week. Should have just held those positions, honestly. Like shit. Last week I withdrew some decent money. Put it in crypto. Crypto's up. That's nice. I should have honestly just held all those positions. I had. Oh well. Left like 221 bucks in my account. Now I got $631. I'm just gonna risk that $631 now on the next move up. Maybe I can flip it to like 1500, 1200 at least. But last week was good. I caught buys last week. I went over my setups too on YouTube, on my streams. Inner Circle. We're going to be live for Inner Circle 8 a.m. every day. I'll be live on YouTube at night times. I'll go over some stuff soon. Just want to keep an eye on gold. Yeah, like buys, if you're gonna trade it, play it small, because you gotta know like there could be a drawdown, but let's like trying to control that, because now we're above previous all-time highs, so we may maintain above that. There's a lot of demand kicking off to start this week, so we know with how price exploded, how it came from Thursday. A lot of demand, so that first big retracement probably just stick. I see this as something to pounce on, as it's Sunday, Easter. No, not everyone's on the charts right now. When I say small, like I'm literally gonna be entering like 001s and I'll still manage to flip this, because like 001s, if I'm on a small account right now, I'm gonna deposit more if this thing really pulls back, because I'm not gonna get super risky up here. No, I know it can go up, but I'm gonna use like this. This is the risk for now in case there is that big pullback. But I'm entering 001s to keep it. That's, for me, that's small. Like I can handle a drawdown of $20 and not be sweating, even though that's 200 pips, right? I won't be sweating. I'll be scaling in if that bigger pullback does happen. Loading up. Is this setup, like if market, if 3,400, that's a good move away. I think we're gonna go to 3,400. Whether we pull back or not, I think we're on the way to 3,400. From the looks of it. You could wait. I'm aggressive and I'm gonna be on the charts watching. Maybe I'm either gonna catch the ride up or it's gonna pull back, and I'll try to control that drawdown. Well, you get that bigger pullback, but it could just rip up to 3,400, to be honest, with the way it's moving. So if you take positions, just like try to target 3,400. Like it looks like it's on the way the chart's moving. Obviously, we want that bigger pullback, but that maybe, what time is it? 10? Maybe comes in near London. Something on the 30-minute, something on the 15. Like a deeper pullback or consolidation. Yeah, crazy start to the week. Starting a lot of that momentum. Starting strong momentum. I had a feeling this is gonna push up. We're probably we could probably go let's see. You know, hopefully this low, so this low are the same. Correction, so we can measure that. Measure this. Yeah. So, like, if you're trying to swing this, 3450s. If you're really trying to catch swings, you're going in this trend right now. Up. Got a correction down. Wave up. Correction down. It's in that wave up. It's more likely in this, because so you go back here. This move down, how it happened, when it happened, the day, what days this were. Oh yeah, this move down. These moves down. That reversed. This one taking price above the all-time highs. This ran up, retraced, just ran. So you see this big extension up. 34.30 or 34.20. They're above those moving averages, you can see. Like here. Go to the 4 hour. Way above. So it even came close to that. So like this could come up more. Rebalance here in the middle. Like I said, 33.50, 33.60 would be ideal to get pullbacks to. Wait for that. Anything else between here and here would be smaller time frame, continuations, breakouts, quick correction. Like you have that range to where it could pull back to. It could go up and still pull back. It could go up and still pull back. So you have like from where price is now to here, you have a range to where it could drop down to before going up at the most. That would be like the ideal situation to wait for it, maybe tonight, today, tomorrow, like this week, going into this week, since it cleared this high here. Right, we cleared the high, we made a low, we just had a bullish break of structure on pretty much like this high, bullish BOS, bullish break of structure. So you're looking for continuations, ideally. Sells can happen, but I'm not looking for those. Let sells happen, see what they form into. Thirsty, son. Busy day. Taking trains, Ubers, past couple of days. Just took an Uber hour and like 50. There was hella traffic. Literally gonna Uber back. I literally got an Uber back in the after the morning session, and then Uber back after tomorrow. It'll be like that. Oh, there's that fat picture of me. We love that one. We love that one. Where'd the chat go? I lost it. Damn. Oh, there it is. All right. Found that. All right, son. All right, son. I went to Montreal on a train. Had a little weekend. My weekend started on... The gold was closed Friday, so I did some withdrawals. Quick weekend getaway. Quick train. Next time I'll take the plane, then the train. Loading at 4K. 4,000 on the way. At this rate, it's moving very fast. Literally, this just happened in a couple hours. Price just exploded above 33.50. So yeah, looking nice to start the week off with a big bang. You wait for them pullbacks. 33.50 broke. That's the quarter level. It's holding at 7. It's above 75. You know, when we look at quarters, 75 is the nearest one. Maybe you could look at as well if you're looking at nearest price action, 75 prices above. Maybe it sticks that in the short term, but ideally it would be like pullback situations looking for on gold. A very good entry, possibly hold it. Come down. That would be ideal. We're, you know, there's been a lot of all-time highs on gold. As we've, you know, especially if you've been on the sessions, we do go here live weekly. We talk about gold every single time we're live. That's all we look at is gold and crypto. For anybody who's new here, subscribe to the channel. Catch the sessions. You'll learn a lot about gold. I've been trading gold now pretty much religiously for the last 5-6 years. Been trading for over 10 years now. We've been following gold all 2025 on these sessions. We've been watching every time it's made an all-time high. And, you know, different all-time highs have been created on gold, and we've treated them a lot the same, especially when price has gotten above those all-time highs. Typically, that's like a strong sign of demand when you're getting above an all-time high. If you really go back, like just in the last couple months, it's like all-time highs, new all-time highs always being created on gold. So like getting above these points is important. We could always pull back to them. There's always these new all-time highs being created, and there's newer structures, there's newer high peaks getting created. So getting above them is significant. It shows a huge sign of demand in the market, right? It could still rally up. We'd ideally be wanting the market to come back to some of these previous all-time high levels that are broken, right? Along the way, the last couple months, so here there's one. Along the way, the last couple of months, it's pretty much what gold has done. Like you can see there's an all-time high here on price, right? And the market does go above it, and it doesn't come back to it for a little while. It actually ends up coming back to it here, right? So a lot of these all-time highs that are getting created, when we breach through them, when we're breaching through these all-time highs, it's a strong sign of demand, good signal that the market could stay above those levels. We can use those levels. So like we had this all-time high, which we just broke above, market open. So ideally like in this scenario, you could set alerts around there. If you're not going to be on the charts, it could be there tomorrow. It doesn't have to be there tonight. You could set alerts around there, monitor the price around there. That would be a good area to pull back to come back to. Even tomorrow, it's Sunday night, Monday, right, for the market. So it's like you could set some alerts here. Try to monitor price, keep an eye on it. It's not gonna. I don't think it's just gonna dump there in 30 minutes. Anything can happen, but I don't think it's just gonna quickly dump there in the next 10 minutes, hour. It could be their New York session tomorrow, later on through the night. So something definitely to keep an eye on. Simple setup, but following the trend overall still. And like these moving averages are pretty separated, so you can see we've crossed over these moving averages on price. So they're coming up, and as price kind of fluctuates and these candlesticks count down and you go hour by hour, these will also move and maybe come closer to price too, right? So that's a good thing. But ideally tonight looks simple to wait for a pullback to, I mean, sells could possibly happen. I'm not going to look for the sell. I would prefer to just sit on my hands, let a good retracement happen. So yeah, you can even set like alerts in this area around or a little bit before even price gets there. That could be a good idea if you're not going to be watching so much. Go to sleep, sleeping on it. keep your eye on your phone. You know, be glued to it. Be in bed, just like peeking every couple of hours. It can happen. Especially if you're prepared and you have like, you know, you got a bias, so it's forming a bias, right? You want to go to a chart and where you have good conviction, confidence. So confidence for me is I have to convict myself, you know, with my experience. There's times where I have higher conviction for things and feeling and, you know, confidence. That's where being prepared too, like where preparation can meet those opportunities when you're like prepared for something and you form a bias. So like if you're going to the chart and you're like, okay, like this happen, if it's a sell, if it does this, it's a buy, this, like if you have like 3 different scenarios, you have a sell and you have a buy. I like to just be kind of simple with one bias. Like, what's my bias? Am I bullish or am I bearish? I'm bullish. Got that out the way. That's simple. So that right there, just, you know, mentally, I know which direction I'm looking for price, anticipating price to go up instead of looking all over the place. Like, wait, is it a sell? Is it a buy? I don't got to worry about the sell. The sell can happen. It can drop down. I'm more interested in kind of waiting that out, letting it come down to that area, and then looking for like reactions and then trying to react more to price. That would be my setup. 3,400 targets. We broke, so see this high here that I kind of have this other green zone. If we go to the 1 hour, so we got like a nice, see, we had like a counter trend here coming down for a bit, right? Market was retracing down, made some waves down, and you got that like counter trend breakout. You can see this high here, which is pretty much like around 25.30. So that's a nice bullish break of structure. So that's internal. That's more internal. Right there, where we really started to break out. That's a bullish BOS. So that's a key area as well, because that's where this really started to break out. So that is more internally. We could have say we could have a high that's here. We could have another high that's like here, where it's like, okay, we could see the high that's more on the outside, but then what's in more of the price action that's led us up to this point where we are right now, because price is here. So what's behind us here internally? What comes underneath us? What got us here? Where did we come from? Where did it start from? Because we can obviously look outside, right, and look at other structures that exist on the outside here, right, like as like a break and retest. But price went through that, right? But where did some of those moves, where did that like originate from, right? When we're looking at price and we're seeing it's here, and the first thing that's going to draw attention to your eyes is this high over here that we're above, right? That would be like the first place that's like, okay, we could come back to, right, and possibly have a retracement. Now when you're looking at this chart too, you got to look not just on the outside but in the inside, like here, right, where we moved up from. So another place would be where we got that bullish break of structure, like this high as well, if the market really wants to go into a much deeper retracement. But looking first, it's clear and evident to see, so it's clear to see this structure first, which appears, which is more on the outside, external, right? See, we're here. Price, we didn't get to here because of that high, right? We came from here. We came from down here, right? This high right here broke out. We broke out that high, and we made this low. So we had a high to a low, but that reversed and took us here, right? So that's where break and retest. So break and retest is, you know, a good thing, a good setup. But when it fails, if it doesn't work, it's because the market's usually going more internally, finding something else. So which would be like this whole wave up, coming back to like 25, that's, you know, 25.30 area down here, this high. But it's clear to see the chart's bullish. Probably maybe trade bullish until the end of the month, find a high of the month, maybe in the final week. Yeah, gold started guns blazing this week. Bitcoin moving too. If you're in inner circle, if you're in my inner circle, we always talk about crypto on the weekend, and even on YouTube, I always go over crypto news, crypto updates, insights, mindset. Like I always talk about crypto on these YouTube streams, but if you're inside my inner circle, every weekend we always talk about crypto. Remember what I said? Especially for those of you guys inside inner circle, last weekend and the weekend before, so a week ago, was talking a lot about Bitcoin and the monthly candle. And it was when there was like 17 days left or 14 days left. And I said, you know, there's 17 days left, 16 days left. And we were watching it day by day. And I was like, it doesn't take a lot of days to finish maybe a month strong. Maybe we're going to, maybe what I was hindsighting like 2 weeks ago might be coming closer. Because I was saying, like, if you have a bullish month, it doesn't take a lot of days in that month for bullish price action. Like you could have like 3 really extreme days Like today's moving very well so far. Starting the week off, you have, over, you have $2,000 of movement here. Daily, BOS breaking up. There's definitely liquidity on both sides for crypto. But one of the things I've talked about was the ETF outflows for the US, which a lot of people get spooked by. We've talked about this, especially if you're in my inner circle. I remember when I was on April 31st and there was many days of outflows for US ETFs. That's just one part of Bitcoin, is the US ETFs, right? Bitcoin's global. ETFs were outflowing from March 31st to April 7th. US ETFs, they outflowed 7 days in a row, consistently. Price outflowed, and it still held its demand. So the ETFs are just a part of like adoption, Wall Street, whole mainstream adoption for this. Something from the ground, building from the ground more. This chart looks interesting. This chart looks rather interesting. The moving averages are crossing over here. First time, I think, here in this down spiral we've been in. We're getting some more relief here. We're getting above those moving averages. Some bullish breaks of structures happening. This high is significant right here. If price can take this high out, that gives it more clear room to keep going up. That'll be another bullish break of structure, setting potential reversal up if this holds. We're maybe getting even like a daily crossover here, starting on those, like potentially getting like a daily crossover here. Gold's bullish, Bitcoin's bullish, dollar, nice. So it looks like the month's been, toned out. What news happened? Drop in the chat. There had to be news. Had a busy day, busy family day. Bitcoin reclaims 87,000, fam. It's fire. What's poppin' tonight? Trump's non-cheating list. What's going on? What's poppin' tonight? Insufficient orange. It looks like they're gonna announce another buy. Every time he does that. Wow. It's poppin' chat. US index red. Yeah, you I just saw, yeah. That's good. That local top. Remember? Man, first YouTube streams I did. Some of you guys were there for those too. I did say when there's gonna be a local top. Go back to the first YouTube. Go watch the first week or two of YouTube streams I did, and I was talking in January. Once dollar makes a local top, and weakness comes in. Trump's crashing the dollar to make it cheaper to work with. Obviously here it's maybe part of the plan. This is going to send things up. Well, look at the effect on Bitcoin we're having. Gold, we already know. When's Bitcoin look like this? Who knows? I already had some. But look at gold, like it's on a tear. What a news. Well, there had to be some news tonight. Maybe. Or just markets open now, it's opening. If you criticize tariffs, you're bad at business. A lot of the car stuff for yeah, there's some car, yeah, the American exports for car, imports for car stuff over the weekend. Ford. It's just no one really knows, guys. Like, think about this. Like, realistically, no one really knows what's gonna happen a month from now, let alone 90 days from now, let alone 2 years, a year from now. So, like, obviously, like, gold is safe haven, and you're seeing that right now in such times of uncertainty. Huge demand for gold. There's been a lot of, just in the last year. So let's watch something, and I put it in Discord actually. I don't know if you guys watched it. I think I dropped it in Discord recently. Like, even look at what happened at the beginning of last week. Like, Russian strikes on northeastern Ukraine city. This was like the deadliest attack this whole year. That happened at the beginning of last week. Look where gold is now. This happened on Monday, April 11th. Look where gold is now. So, like, and then you got all the tariff stuff, all the tariffs news, right? Overall, anytime gold, if you look historically, if you look at gold historically, anytime it's made a peak where it's gone on, let's say, a crazy rally, and what we're doing now, anytime it's done that has been in economic times, periods of, you can see here, they coincide with periods of economic weakness, recessions. Anytime gold has rallied and made peaks, right? I think it talks about, like, Nixon back in something 70. I wasn't alive, man. 1978, those times, 2008 recession. That R word's getting thrown around a lot. So what's driving gold? Well, think about what's happened in the last couple of years. COVID, and then the wars, and all this uncertainty. ETFs, though, there was not a lot of demand for gold ETFs. It was bar and coin in the last couple of years, but now, in the last couple months, ETF inflows have really surged for gold. The inflows for gold, so we'll pull it up. I pulled this up. Some of this stuff we've talked about for you guys, right? Gotta tune in on maybe a weekly basis. We talk about this a lot. We talked about this last week. The Goldman Sachs. I gotta find that one that I pulled up. Goldman Sachs article. Where was that? I think it was in this one. Yeah. Last week we were talking about this. Last week. Remember what the closest target was? 35.50. That's their closest target to by end of the year. These are by end of the year targets by Goldman Sachs, which is Wall Street, right? Goldman Sachs. Well, what it said here is that gold-linked ETFs have had a stellar 25, compared to the last couple of years, because even over here with what I was just showing you, ETFs were outflowing for gold. But gold link ETFs 2025, which invests in gold and silver miner stocks. So that's what a lot of these ETFs and shares that represent gold do, and stock and companies that represent gold do. They mine gold. So, which has exposed their physical holding of gold bullion, right? They've acquired more gold by mining it, flourished up 20. You can read this. You could go on Google, type Goldman Sachs, $4,000. Just type. That's what I did. That's what I did when I saw a headline. I'll literally do Goldman Sachs, $4,000. Goldman Sachs is predicting gold to go to $4,000. I went on Google, typed in Goldman Sachs, $4,000. Started reading articles that came up. Simple as that. Not too crazy. That's what I did, right? And I shared the information I found with you guys like a week ago, right? But you can go on Google. You type in Let's do it real quick. Gold and Sachs. You can see I got a lot here. I already typed 4,000 gold. So if you look, there's some articles that have been published in the last 7 days ago. You can see BNB Bloomberg, Financial Post, Bloomberg.com, the Global Mail. See all these websites posting about this, talking about this. You go to news. Now, yeah, so more exposure to gold is happening through ETFs as well. Things like that. Interesting times we live in. What do you guys say in the chat? So gold, man, some weeks the market literally just opens like this. If you've been on the charts for the last, that's why sometimes I like to be on it when it opens, but sometimes it leaves you. It moves. This thing moved crazy open. Probably on the way to 3,400. Remember when I said we were on the way to 3,200? And 3,200 became support. I gave you guys buys at 3,200. I told you guys to buy. So 3,300 held. Look at that price action. 3,000's down here. 3,100 right here. So if you're looking at price action, you got $3,000 down here. Bottom line. That bottom line there, 3,000, 3,100, 3,200, 3,300. So next target's 3,400, which eventually might flip as a support. But ideally, you know, you still want those pullbacks if you can get, because it looks like the market's sort of in this stretch now, that it made a low and we could be trying to trend up, maybe for the week. It looks like it's forming a similar, like, because again, like I showed you guys already, it went down here. You can see the move it made after that, just ripped up. So it looks like we're in that same transition. Does that make sense? Type in the chat if that makes sense. Type in the chat if I'm making sense tonight. Let me know. Type in the chat. I know it's Easter. We popped on late, but had to get on because gold ripping. Had to get on. Let me know if we're making sense. Yeah, I figure like no one really knows like what's gonna happen a month from now, this week. One day tariffs are on, one day tariffs are off, one day this country this country that. So like realistically, the uncertainty is still there because no one even knows what's gonna happen 4 years from now, 2 years from now, a year from now. No one knows if his plan's gonna work or not. So like there's just that's really it. It's happening so fast. Like things change so quick. If you look at the last 4 years, it's like, well, and then boom, December tariffs. December to January had all this tariffs rumors, tariffs news coming up, and then March, March, April, been some crazy months. So how fast it came too, it's like that creates even more uncertainty for what's next. Everyone's waiting for what's next. Plus, alongside that, like tariff wars, trade wars, supply chain wars, it's all about those spreadsheets, fam. It's all about those spreadsheets, trade balances, supply chains, lithium, oil, gas, energy, perseverance, control. A lot of things, a lot of words. Honestly, I could come up with a lot of words. Technology, the machine war, the race to machines, technology, AI, artificial intelligence, right? Plus, you also have modern day wars happening at the same time. Like, you have a whole war and race to innovation, capitalizing on things changing, and then like you have battles also going on, like real wars happening where people are, suffering. So it's a lot of uncertainty caused, and gold is, if you look at gold, as far as we can go back on the chart, since that little dinosaur, as far as we can go back on gold, it's like, I guess we've always been living in uncertainty for time. Like, Gold, like, the world's always been uncertain, just every so often, right? Maybe we can look at it like that. Look at the little dinosaur back here. This in the beginning. So in the beginning. So I guess we've always been in uncertainty, fam. Our world's always been cooked. All right. We've always been cooked. Look at gold. Like, gold's always gone up. There's a long period here, and then right here I remember, because when I started trading, it was like, not, gold wasn't popular when I started trading, when it was down here. I remember when I started trading in here, I remember this price action. Gold wasn't so popular there. That's where I bought like my first gold coin, I remember. So yeah, you're looking at the effect of safe haven, uncertainty, and, you know, economic weakness. It's always effed up either way, someone said in the chat. Yeah, it's like, I look at this chart and I'm like, man, wait. People always ask me, is gold good to buy? Like, for the last couple of years, since COVID, 2021, people knew I was buying gold and into gold. People always ask me, should I buy gold? Is gold a good time to buy it? I'm like, well, zoom out and just ask yourself that question real quick. Whether you go back, now if we go back a month ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, however you look at it, right? That's why I'm so much the way I am on Bitcoin, because it's obviously newer and there's only gonna be so much of Bitcoin. So I look at Bitcoin like that now, right? Where it's like, okay, how long has gold been around, right? And Bitcoin still not, it's nowhere near as big as gold. Nowhere near, right? So even Jerome Powell himself, the man who Trump wants to fire, bless him, if he gets fired, bless that he said this before he got fired, you know? Like, at least he said it. At least Jerome Powell said it before maybe he gets fired. When he called it, when he considered it digital gold. Trump wants to terminate Jerome Powell, but, you know, whatever happens, at least we got this from him. You know, how he considered it digital gold. He's like, it's not a competitor for the dollar, it's really a competitor for gold. I realize if I had gold's market cap right now, what the price would be. If Bitcoin had gold's market cap right now, we'd be like we'd be well over $1 million right now. Dollars a coin, probably like 1.2. Because gold's market cap just went up as it's going up as we're speaking. It's gone up since last week. So yeah, Jerome Powell, the guy, old Jerome, you know, the guy we love, Grandpa Forex, Grandpa Markets. You know, it's just like gold. Some of you guys know this. It's just like gold, only it's virtual, it's digital. I literally hear him say that. I'm like, can hear his voice in my head. Powerful comment by the. We got that, you know. Whatever happens to old Jerome, Trump wants to terminate him. That's the word he used. The Apprentice. You're fired. Trump's coming in like The Apprentice. Remember that show he had? Where he'd be sitting at his desk. And he'd be like, you're fired. Or whatever. Yeah, so Bitcoin's just developing a huge mainstream phase as well right now. Like, we thought 2017 was mainstream, but now it's on Wall Street. So thought 2017 was the mainstream cycle. Maybe that was like the crypto cowboy phases, evolution. Those evolutionary phases. Now we're on Wall Street. And $87,000 a coin with all this stuff going on in the world, right? Still holding $87,000 a coin. What's Solana at? Tell me, yeah. dog with hat. 45. Ooh, they hit 45. 140. Solana looks nice too. It even breaking up bullish. May, there's so many days left till April. 9 days till, like 10 days till April finishes. The month's looking all right. Like the only thing that's gonna make this volatile is obviously news. This is a volatile thing. It doesn't need to go up to 9 days. There could be 4 days of price fluctuations and it going down even, and 3 days of bullish and it's at 90K closing the month strong, 88K closing the month strong, or around there. There could be, with all these news and headlines popping up, that's what creates a lot of that volatility, those flushes down when all these headlines pop up. Big day forming to start the week. We have been in this decline, which, you know, we've been in this sort of decline before. Price had enough demand to come to $75,000 per coin. Sometime, like, there was enough demand to take this thing to $75,000 per coin. Okay? There's enough demand to take it through $75,000 per coin, all the way up to about 110,000, 109,000, and the price came back to $75,000 per coin. So if you look here, roughly around 75K, price made its way up to that. There was enough demand to take price up to that and still be bought up here, still be bought through it, and even come back to that level, almost like retesting it. That is a good holding level, and even a level the market could try to target back to if there's any ever crazy flushes out back down. That's an interesting level to me that, as long as we stay above, I'm bullish on this. Not trying to be optimistic. I don't want to be optimistic with this. I just follow what I think all the time. Any of you guys who have followed me, I've always said, like, just following my gut, following my intuition, following my experience, following the research I do, following what I see. Those of you guys who are in Inner Circle, we talk about this a lot. And we talked about two scenarios, whether it's the sooner or later. There's sessions in Inner Circle where I talked about there's either going to be a sooner or later scenario with Bitcoin, right? So that's why either way, it's good to be prepared for both, because when it moves, it'll move fast. When it has that dominance in that season come in, where there's what we saw before and last year, before the end of the year, and what we saw more than once. We've had these phases where the market's pushed up excessively, right? The market ran from 25,000 to like 75,000. And then for 230 days, pretty much went sideways, up and down, flushing out and recovering, right? Before it ran up to 100K. And we've come down, you know, for like 113 days, 80 days there. The same fall, actually. This dropped. If you look at Bitcoin, guys, this dropped 33% back to 50,000. Okay. So don't think I'm trying to be optimistic. Just like my foot's in the door, probably more than every single one of you combined. Okay, so I'm not optimistic. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And there's only like a couple times a year I feel like this. Maybe 3 to 5 times a year. You can ask my best friend. He knows. There's times where I tell him, when he asks me, should I do this? And I'll be like, yeah, you got to do this now. He'll know. He knows it's the right time. Or if I say, yo, if there's a couple times a year where I will feel like this, you know, where cycles come. Even the best plays, the best 10x's you don't find a 10x. You're not going to find 10x on Bitcoin unless you hold it for the next 10 years, right? But like other cryptos, the best 10x's don't come when you're looking for them every day or trying to put money in the market every day. That's where you'll bleed out your purchasing power. Like the problem with what a lot of traders they do these days is they'll take like $1,000 and they'll spread it into 5 coins, hoping one of them 10x's, and then they just buy no value. They don't buy any value. They don't buy real value. 10x's don't come even like when you're trying to put money in the market all the time, or even looking for them all the time. They come when you just constantly do a routine, and they come on your lap. They come in cycles. Like, the market's not going to give you a 10x play if you're just throwing money at coins every day, right? You might hit one, but you'll go through your funds more like that, like your purchasing power of the market. Those 10x's that crypto traders try to look for, especially the ones that come when the market's going up, they come with the hype, right? They don't come when you're every day like trying to force the money into it and need to find it and just finding anything. They come with high level of conviction over time and cycles when maybe the market's in a certain stage. Like right now, there's coins that could give you 10x, 5x, 10x. Beyond that this year, I'm going to be talking. I talked about one in my inner circle this past week. Literally, there's an easy one that could give you a 10x this year from the price that it's at right now. We've been talking about it in inner circle like every weekend. Okay. There's coins right now that could give you 10x's, okay, from where the market currently stands at these prices. So that's like these cycles come where it's like, yo, the market's down. This is the time where, okay, if I were to put money here at this price, I could get a 10x. They come in cycles, not when you're throwing money at whatever coin you can every week, every month, every day. So not trying to be with too much optimistic here and hype everyone up. Just know, like, I've been talking about the same thing for like, what I'm talking about right now, I've been talking about for a while. You can even see, like, for instance, Bitcoin. So if we look at this, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could see how many times the market has touched relatively the same area, okay? This price. Like, if I just look at here, for example, how many times can you see Bitcoin? Let's put a line. How many times has Bitcoin actually touched 80K, right? Or 82K, or like the same area, right? Bitcoin has been, it crashes. So what are the headlines? Bitcoin's crashing. 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 We're crashing. Liquidations, right? Liquidations. 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 Not on Bitcoin. Other coins. Bitcoin's hitting the same price. But what's happening to other coins? Bleeding. 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 Bleeding, bleeding, while Bitcoin's bouncing, 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 bouncing around the same relative area. But what's happening to other markets in that same time? Maybe alternative coins, meme coins, different blockchains, different ecosystems of crypto. While Bitcoin's relatively bouncing off of these same areas, other coins are going down, 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 down in those times. So Bitcoin's like this, realistically. Bitcoin's like this, boom, 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 around the same area, while other things are just going down more. Well, this is Bitcoin over here, staying power, stronger, while other coins, they're bleeding out more, right? Why am I saying this? Because it impresses me after how many years I have in the market. This type of, like, what it's doing is pretty impressive, especially with everything going on. Like, it's still at $87,000 per coin. You'd think it might have took a bigger hit by now. Like, it did take a big hit. We could see what that did to a lot of the market. But that's where this has true staying power, because it's 87 a coin. Look what happened to the whole crypto market. You know how many liquidations happened? More than once, though. Big ones in all of this, in all of these drops. Think about all these drops on Bitcoin where it's going back to the same price. Think about it. All these drops, it goes up, it drops, it goes up. They're going back to the same price. They're coming back to the same area. Yeah, it's crashing, goes up, crashes back, goes up, crashes back, goes up, crashes. It's coming relatively back to the same price. Everything else is going down, 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 down. Right? More so. Right? You guys, does that make sense? You guys understand what I'm trying to show you here? It's important to see. It's important to see this. Okay? Because it shows you why it's number one. Right there. It shows you why it's number one. First of all. Okay? Why it's always going to be expensive. It could drop to $60,000 today per coin. Can you buy it if it goes? Could you buy one Bitcoin if it went to 60K today? Would you buy one Bitcoin? Would you be as convicted as I would to be like, I need to, you know, if it went to 50K, how would you feel? How would you feel if it went to 60K, 70K, right? It's still rather, even if it went to 60,000 a coin, it's still rather expensive for one, knowing there's only going to be so many. So yeah, the kind of admiring the price action a bit. It's kind of looking sexy. How nice staying power it's shown. Obviously, there's been those flushes out, but when you look at how it's coming back, it's interesting. There's definitely like an interesting accumulation going on. I think this is more of a bearish accumulation. I've been saying that. I'm saying the same thing. So for anyone who's new, this context might be new for you. So subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hop in the Discord. Anyone in my inner circle should be kind of on tune to this info. You know, like we did a pretty decent drop relative to the last big correction. Are we making sense tonight? I want to make sure. You've been holding since 29.84. Damn, yo. Fuck. Jealous. Oh shit, it's going up. Yeah, it's still going up. Gold. I'm gonna flip like this little account this week. What's silver doing? Is silver catching some heat too? Silver push up. Silver's gone up in the last week. Silver. Gold is ripping. 29.84. Damn. That's solid. That's like below 3,000. Crazy times. Keep it bullish. Don't look for, yeah, like when people ask me about sells on gold, guys, that lately doesn't, the S word, fuck, man, the S word lately doesn't exist in our vocabulary, fam. That S word. You know, I have a chain that I gotta pick up that, well, me and my friend, we have two chains that we bought years ago, and we got it customized, and the price we paid and gold's gone up. We just have to go bring, like, we gotta go pick up these chains. We made a smart move. 230 grams per chain of gold, 18 karat. It's gonna be a fun year. We're going from going to Cuban cabs this year. Call me Cuban cabs. Yeah, we got a couple of years ago, we got some chains made, and we wanted to get them customized more with diamonds on them, get it more like flexy looking. I didn't like the way it was designed. This shit's fire. But since we got them made, like we got it made when gold was, fuck, I don't even know. I have to ask. I don't know exactly. I would have to ask. I honestly would like to think in 2022. We did it between 2022 and 2023, so it's fire. Literally solid investment. Solid investment when flexing goes right. Oh, there. When flexing goes right. Because it weighs a lot in fucking gold. Yeah, so I gotta go travel. I gotta go scoop that up. It's not here. It's not in Canada. I'm happy. I'm looking at it on my phone. It's a happy day. That chain's been just sitting with our jeweler. And we have a few other ones that we got made literally years ago. We just gotta go sauce the guy. A little loot for the customization, and it's like the price we paid for what the gold was worth then. Solid. Now I got gold. Gold's just ripping. Anything on the 5 minute. 5 minutes just... Look at this line chart on the 5 minute. It's just like... 5 minutes just... Crypto's gonna go up too. 5 minutes just kind of like... If you can see the candles... You can see how they kind of here, like start at the first one. See this high, candle, high. So line chart. So we'll start the first one. We'll do one at a time. So when price is trending like this aggressively, so look at this first one, for example. Check out the candles. So you see the candles hit that high. So this would be like scalping gold. This is like entering the trend when price is moving like this, because price can have different times of momentum, different ways of momentum, and showing you that there's times where, like right now, price just goes up, just goes up, just goes up, right? Gold will do that. If anybody's been on gold the last year, 2 years, if you've been on gold for a good amount of time, you've seen it just go, right? It'll do that. So like when you're on a 5 minute and you're looking at a line chart, for example, like you can take those peaks and those bends on the line chart, right? And you could see clearly price goes through it more on a line chart. It kind of filters things out, smoothens it out, maybe makes it a little simpler to see for the eye, right? Clears it out, I'd say, the least. When you're trending like when you're aggressively trending like this on a 5 minute, price is just going up. There's like the candles are close. See how tight the candles are? But you could see the structure on the line chart here where it's like giving break and retest on these highs, right? And when you go to the candles, you can see, for example, right here. So if I go line chart and I have this high right here, right? And then I go to the candle and I'm looking at the candle right here, right? You can see how the candle touches that, because the line chart only shows like the opening or the closing price mainly, right? Depending on what you have it filtered on. Line chart's not going to show like the lowest point reach or the highest point reach, depending on what you have it filtered on, but it's good to have like it showing the closing price or opening price for the line chart. So you can use it for this, for like those peaks and bends. Automatically it's filtered to like that, where the line chart is typically showing the close, right? So that's why I have it filtered on. A line chart, like you can have it filtered differently where it shows the lowest point reached, the high, the open, but I have it on the close. That way it shows you where price closed. The candles though, when you're looking at the candles, you can see a candle comes down all the way to here, then comes back up in there. So when price is doing this, like you can kind of graduate as it goes up. Be aware, because like I've been through situations where it goes, and then that retracement does eventually come, right? So you could use like the peaks that it makes along the way for scalping on a 5 minute. You can work your way up on this 5-minute chart. Do this on your own, because seeing me do it's one thing. You guys might not. I don't know if you guys can see this the way I do. Like, I don't know if your guys' eyes are seeing it exactly how mine do, or if this is clear. Type in the chat if you guys see what I'm trying to show you here, because there's like a difference between the line chart and the candlesticks, right? So you can see some of these candlesticks come fully down, but when you're looking at the line chart, there's like a gap. Go take your chart. This will be a better way of application, right? Because obviously I'm showing you this, but it's not you applying it and looking at it on yourself. So what you go on the 5-minute on gold and just go look at what I'm showing you here, and on your chart, on your laptop, on your screen, right? And filter in the difference real quick. Like, obviously it's pretty clear to see on my chart for me, but some of you guys might have a new trading eye. My eyes are fully developed more as a trader. I've had lots of time on the chart. So what you want to do is take a practice like this, because a lot of these sessions have years of experience built in them. So you might not know how important every little thing is. Like this right here, what you guys could do right now is like go on your own chart, take this as a practice and study it. That will help you train your eye, right? I have a much more trained eye. Some of you guys might not even notice this as I did, right? There's different things I'm able to notice with more of a trained eye, right? So that's why these little things I teach at times like this, these are some of the most important things. The last session I did on Friday, I'm going to tell you, that session was years of experience. The last session I did, like, man, that was a fire session. The last one I did on Friday, or Thursday, sorry, because Friday gold wasn't open. Thursday, that last session that I did, that was the information on there, little things, kind of like what I'm showing you right now, a little thing I'm showing you right now. A lot of experience on that session built in. So along the way up, as price does this, you could form some of these structures. At some point, like, this thing's close to 3,400. At some point, like, it's done a lot already. At some point, that bigger retracement will come in. 3,400 almost on the way. It looks like it's kind of trying to get above this high. Notice every high it's making, it's kind of getting above them, pulling back. So yeah, that's where a line chart you could see the structure here on the line chart as if it's break and retest. Basically, bullish, break a structure, right? Bullish, break a structure. At these, we call them bends. So on the line chart, we call them the bends and the throughs that it makes, the peaks, these little bends, all these bends that it makes, or these lows, and it breaks through them. All these bending points on the line chart, those are important. No matter what time frame you're looking at, but this would be like a scalping concept, because we can see it on a 5-minute only. We can only see it on a 5-minute. It's all we can see it on. So it'd be like when the market's just moving with momentum for a short period of time and it's just not stopping. You may be able to see structures form on a 5-minute. At some point though, like, we've moved higher a bit since we first got on, but back to that other chart. Still same concept, same idea to start the week off. Like, that'd be the simplest thing to wait for, and it'll probably there could be a good likelihood of it happening, potentially. I'll wait for that. That's what I'll wait for tonight. This thing moved up a lot, market open. I'll wait for that tonight. That's a safer play. Move my phone. It's Sunday. Well, Sunday night for me. And this thing just started moving. Like, kicking off the week. I've seen weeks where it just starts bullish like this and it goes up until Thursday. I mean, some of you guys have with me if you've been tuning in. But yeah, guys, we've been on. I think that's a good way to start the week off. I'll be on Inner Circle at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I'm going to go work out. Maybe I'll jump on after my workout. But that would be like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Some of you guys might not be up. But I'm going to go work out for a bit. We'll be on Inner Circle in the morning. The S word doesn't sit well with us themselves. Yeah, Inner Circle will be live 8 a.m. Eastern time. The link's in the playlist on YouTube. We're doing a lot of updates after tonight, after tomorrow. Wait for pullbacks on gold. Keep an eye on it tonight. I'm going to be watching it closely this week. If it does a good pullback, like on the 30-minute. Bitcoin trading nice. What's Ethereum at? Yeah. I just want Solana to go to $200. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah, Solana's was in a... Yeah, this is starting to form bullish structure. Even. Solana came all the way to $100. So if you liked it at 300 and you didn't like it at 100, it's like it was a good price to say the least. Yeah, Solana, interesting with these quarters. I was noticing 100. Let me take the camera off real quick. I wear big t-shirts now. All my t-shirts are big. It's actually all my t-shirts are big because they're all my old t-shirts. So when I was like 210 pounds. Interesting on Solana, we came to 100. Reversed there, formed bullish, breaks the structures. So if we zoom in real quick, we hit that $100 mark. We made this low. Kind of like how gold came down, made a low, pull back. Higher high, bullish BOS. Pull back, higher high, bullish BOS. Took out this high right here. This is the price action I like to see on crypto. This is when I start analyzing. This is the price action I like to see. Looking more like something I can relate to, you know? This is a price action that, you know, we're looking like better. You can see that 125 got a nice pullback to it. So underneath us we have, you know, a good, you know, kind of going up phase here. Recovery happening. Price action's looking good from how it came down and how it started to go up. On Sol. And we have that big counter trend. That like long, this counter trend that we've been in on Sol. I mean, however you want to really draw that, like if you want to connect multiple, I think you guys can see. I'm not the big, I don't draw trend lines, I see them. Like I don't draw so much of like liquidity and trend lines, counter trends and stuff like that. I could see it. So I could see that long like counter trend coming in, you know, from the top, angle down. I can see that. And it's interesting because if you actually put the quarters, what we do with gold, real quick, I'll show you, like 200, 175, 150. So next price, next price is 150. We'll probably we could range between 125, 150. Price breaks 150, where could it go? Look at the room it has if it breaks 150. Look to the left. If it breaks above 150, it has room to go up. So far from where price is coming from and what it's doing to this, it broke this high, broke this. It's had some bullish breaks of structures. It's looking healthy. Monthly is stronger than how like the monthly too, like good body. We got 9 days left. We want the monthly to obviously keep going, but that's so far how it's forming. It's good. That doesn't mean if you look at a month, that doesn't mean next month couldn't wick down and still go bullish. Like, look at here. Look at these 2 months. This bullish candle. So there was, see the wick on the next month. Solana looks interesting on the monthly with this monthly candle, how it's forming, how it's flipping with that bottom wick. Even on the weekly, you're getting a break of structure here on the weekly. So it looks interesting. But yeah, guys, that's first session to kind of start the week off. I'll be live in Inner Circle at 8 o'clock in the morning for a New York session. Watch gold tonight. I'll post this chart in Discord. Yeah, watch for it to come down, possibly. That's what I'm keeping an eye on. But I'm gonna wrap it up. We'll be on tomorrow. Dun dun dun. We'll be on tomorrow. Club back in tomorrow. Tap in, Inner Circle, 8 a.m. Eastern time. I might hop on later. We'll see what gold's doing. But I'm going to post the charts in a bit. Peace, peace, peace.
Ponte creativa, activa tu curiosidad, dale espacio a que brille en ti toda esa vanidad. Anda suelta, finísima, riquísima, soltera, solicitada y pa' colmo putísima. Soledad, cuando estés en la soledad, se castiga sin piedad, tú te vienes y te vas. Ella y las amigas son una sociedad y saben lo que va a pasar con los míos si se da.
Soledad, cuando estés en la soledad, se castiga sin piedad, tú te vienes y te vas. Ella y las amigas son una sociedad y saben lo que va a pasar con los míos si se da.
Y si se da, baby, te sacaste la loto porque ando con par de pesos y hoy contigo los exploto. Dile a tu amiga que deje de estar grabando, que no sea peliculera y deje de estar tirando fotos. Que andamos rulay, pide que hay. Aquí tengo par de moñas y el blue me lo bajo el try. La calle anda activa, yo también activo. Y estoy loco de pillarle y de guayarle el estribo. A ver si como ronca se venía la abusadora. Estoy que la secuestro y me la llevo de que ahora. A ver si en verdad que ella está pa' mí o se pegó a chapear la VIP. Y no calientes la comida si no te la vas a comer. Que tú no eres una nena, baby, tú eres una mujer. Sabes que si me pego tú tienes que ir a toa. Dime, háblame claro, si se da nos vamos a toa.
Dice que no fuma, pero si yo prendo, ella le da, ella le da. Entraba a la discoteca sin tenerla edad. Yeah. Es como andar en el mar, navegando a ciegas. Eres una fantasma y no dejas que te vea. Tú sabes lo que vamos cuando tú y yo no estamos, baby. Chayo, baby. This is the remix.
Austin, baby.
Mike Towers, baby. Junto a Montana de producer y los Illusions, Young Kings, baby.
Baby Records.
Casa Blanca Records.
This is the remix.
One World. Come.
Carbon Fiber Music.